So another thing I dealt with back years ago, I haven't been to Aldi's in a while. Used to go to Aldi's because their canned goods was cheaper. It's not necessarily anymore. If it is, it's by a few cents, maybe. And what I found is not usually. Usually it's about the same price. And if I only have one item that I'm actually going there to get, I'm probably not going to bother with it, right? If there's one item that's cheaper than the others and everything else is the same price or higher, it's not worth my time to drive all the way across town to another store. For the one item that was 2 cents cheaper, then I would rather, yeah, I'll pay the extra 2 cents to not have to drive across town and get out and go in another store and wait in another line. That's worth 2 cents to me. But at any rate, I used to go into Aldi's because their eggs was cheaper at the time, and what is going on there? Why for you turn? I was not turning you. Behave. Their eggs was cheaper, their canned goods were cheaper back then. But so in Aldi's, you go in and they have the little conveyor belt thing that you take your stuff out of your cart, you put it on the conveyor belt, and the person at the register has the scanner in front of them, and they are sitting and they grab the item, scan it, and the card is right beside them, so they literally take it, scan it, drop it in your cart. Well, you can take it and scan it and in the cart without throwing it, just kind of across the scanner and you know, underhand flop in the cart. You know, it's all it takes. It's in there. You're not throwing it, you're not slamming it, you're not all too often the canned goods, they would absolutely just, you bring it across, overhand in the cart, you know, and dent the ever-loving crap out of the cans. And, you know, people are like, oh, okay, well, that's not a big deal. What are you crying about? The problem is I would get them home and go to put them on my shelves in my pantry, and they won't stack because they're dented. And so they fall over. If you try to stack them up when they're dented, they won't set straight. And so you've got them stacked, you know, I'd have the cans in rows, you know, 3 high, and stack my cans on the shelves. We would usually buy enough cans to last the month. This was back when Mom was still around. Well, the thing is that it happened more than once because of this. Mom would go in there to get, back then she was still able to walk around and move and could cook and do stuff. She would go in there and go to get a can out of the pantry to do whatever, and the darn things would fall over and inevitably land on her toes, and more than one time she ended up with broken toes because cans come out, you know, because they wouldn't stack properly, fall out and land and break her toes. Literally, I'd come home from work because I worked at a store back then, and she'd be on the couch with 2 toes taped together, and I'd be like, what'd you do, stub a toe? And she's like, no, dropped a can on it because they fell over. And immediately I knew why, because, you know, I was the one that got the cans and got them home. I would get the cans and put them on and make sure they're not dented when I'd put them in the cart. For that reason, and I'll be darned if they didn't slam them in the cart and dent them anyway. And then I get home and go, why are all these dented? I know I did not put them in the cart that way. I specifically made sure I got cans that were not that way. So yeah, just sometimes people don't. I don't know. Is it apathy? Maybe. Just a generally just not caring. Or is it that they just, you know? And I get it. I get that you know you're at this job where you're here working and you're dealing with the customers are complaining about the line and whatever and this stuff and you get it's kind of a thankless job and whatever and maybe you get burnout, you know, and that happens. Burnout definitely does happen in retail, big time. Trust me, I worked retail. I know. Oh boy, have I gotten burnout in retail. Like I said, I get it that, you know, sometimes you're really not incentivized to do good work for others whenever they don't seem to appreciate that work in general. And so then you get burnout because you're like, yeah, all you idiots come in and all you do is complain about every little tiny thing, half of which we have no control over, and yeah, and I've been there and done that. I understand, but at the same time, not all of them are that way. But if you treat all the customers that way, because a few of them, you know, the reality of it is 3 or 4 customers are loud and noisy and obnoxious about piddly crap that shouldn't even matter. But if you let those 2 or 3 customers mess up your day so that you end up thinking that way about all of them, sorry, no, that's not the case and not the reality of it. You for the most part, most customers are just there. They will patiently wait, and they know you're busy, and they will, yep, I'm here, I'm in line, and next, okay, I will try to help get this done as quick as I can so you can get on to the next one, and with little fuss as possible. They may not go out of their way to be all bubbly and, hey, I hope you're having a good day, and da-da-da, and be sunshine and rainbows, because they are also there going, I just want to get my stuff and get done, pay for it, and go home. Well, all I want to do, and all you want me to do is pay for my stuff and get in my car and go. So, you know, I'm trying to do that as efficiently and quickly as possible so that things get done, right? And then you'll get the occasional person that's like, you know, oh, that sign said it was 2 cents lower than this. And then you get back there and you find out, no, it's because somebody has picked it up and slid it over on the shelf, and that is not your fault that somebody come along at some point and slid it over, because, and the reason that happens, you have the people that will come in and they will slide the ones in the front over and reach to grab the ones in the back because they want the freshest of whatever. And they know that if you rotate stock in your store, you will put the newer stuff in the back and the older stuff in the front. So the majority of people will grab the older stuff first and that keeps the stock rotated so that it's not going out of date on the shelf, right? Well, people know that, and they will shove the front ones over on the shelf out of their way to grab the one in the back. And then guess what? Now all these items they shoved over that they didn't bother to put back where they're supposed to be are now over in the next product's area that's a little bit different price, and it's not even the tag for that product. It's not for that. It's for because the product is supposed to be over here. That's not the employee's fault. It's not the store's fault. That's customers being stupid. Sorry, but it is. And so then, yeah, you deal with that kind of stuff and have those kind of issues and no, it got pushed over by somebody because they moved it. It's not where it was supposed to be because, and then well, I can't help it because you all didn't put it in the correct spot. No. We put it in the correct spot. Somebody else come along and moved it over. And I've had people do that very thing too. The person that's complaining about that price being wrong is the person that moved it over to another spot so that they can claim it was priced wrong. Watch people actually do it. It happens. So, yeah, I get that sometimes working in retail is stressful and can burn you out. But you can't treat all the customers like they're all doing that stuff, because most of the time it's 3 or 4, and the rest of them are doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is coming in, getting their stuff, and paying for it and getting out. 20 years of that. I have seen it, I have done it, and I have put up with it, and yeah. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt.